What's up guys, I hope you're having an amazing day. I've used the Pgytech ONEMO camera backpack for at least 1.5 years and I've generally been super happy with it until sometime this September when one of the main zippers broke and that made the entire camera actually useless. But because I like the backpack so much, I actually wanted to order it again. Then I realized when I was searching for it that on the Pgytech's website, for example, it wasn't anymore and I could only find the ONEMO 2 backpack. And so I wanted to make this video to share with you 5 downgrades that I experienced when switching from the ONEMO to the ONEMO 2, but also 5 big upgrades which I really like. Let's get to it. So first I will start with the downgrades, and the biggest downgrade for me and at the same time the most annoying one has to do with this strap that connects both shoulders over your chest to pull them towards the middle. The original ONEMO had this normal clipping mechanism which you can find in every other backpack. It looks a bit flimsy and not that strong, but it's actually much stronger than it looks. At least it has been very reliable for me for the last 1.5 years. You can also slide it up or down on the sides to make it fit you better. Now, for some reason on the second generation they decided to remove it completely and replace it with this other strap that you need to hook on both sides. The way this is designed though makes it very difficult to put it back in place. First you have to locate the exact position, then you have to slide it in all the way and then pull it backwards for it to work. The problem is that there is very little wiggle room, and if you don't slide the strap all the way inside of this plastic hook, the lower lip of the hook stays open and it immediately comes out. The issue that I have with it is that it can be unhooked on both sides. Now usually when I'm doing something like taking pictures or whatever, I also have the phone on my hand when I'm going somewhere to look at the location or to take a look on the phone of the pictures that I already took on the camera, like I transfer them immediately. And so I have the phone on my right hand, which means that I only have my left hand free, and with my left hand I can only unhook it on my right side. Whenever I do that I unhook it on my right side, then I must put the phone in my pocket in order to have both hands free, because on this side it's impossible to fit it in place with my left hand, and part of the reason is because it's under the phone cover, so I need to really be focused and remember to always unhook it on the left side. So all in all, it has been quite a big struggle and it takes a lot of concentration to operate this simple strap, and I find it very annoying and I don't know why they designed it that way. If you have this backpack, let me know in the comments below how you got used to it, whether you even got used to it, whether you use it or not, and yeah, how do you find it in general. Now let's continue with the second downgrade, which is the overall build quality and the materials of the backpack. Now I haven't used the ONEMO 2 for long enough to make a durability test and to see how much this material really handled, but generally speaking, just from looking and touching them, I feel like they are a bit more cheaply made than they were on the original ONEMO. The zippers somehow feel weaker. Inside, this middle divider of the original ONEMO was very well fixed in place with these 2 hooks on both sides, whereas now on the ONEMO 2 it is fixed in place just like all the other dividers. Also, I often carry this 1-liter water bottle on the tripod pocket on the side, and I noticed that on the ONEMO 2 this pocket doesn't extend as much, so it is more difficult to put my water bottle in and out of it. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't feel like a super cheap backpack, that's not what I mean, but it's just like the quality is a bit cheaper than the original one. It still feels pretty solid. The third downgrade for me has to be the pockets on the strap. I used to carry my standard Peak design plate here, so in case I needed to mount it on the camera in order to hang the camera here in the front, I could just open the pocket and use the tools to fix it in place immediately. Now I can't store them on the shoulder anymore, I have to store them in the backpack, so I have to put the backpack down, find the tools, mount them to the camera, and then wear the backpack again, deal with this annoying thing in the front, and then I can hang my camera freely. And the reason why I can't just put them on the pocket where the phone goes is because there's too much wiggle room there. It is a bit too elastic and they shake a lot, and that's not ideal. I actually wish they could find a way to make both pockets work. The fourth downgrade for me has to be the removal of these pockets in the back of the backpack where you could fix the straps in place. I find them very annoying when they are not fixed somehow, because they are quite huge and they have a lot of weight, so they just hang on the sides. It was an amazing solution. I found it very clever that they included those back pockets. I found a workaround though, because now this middle carrying handle is larger, so I just cross them inside of it. It's not ideal because I always have the Peak design capture clip attached to one of the straps, so that makes it quite difficult. But it kind of works. Anyways, it's a downgrade. And the fifth and final downgrade for me is this inside pocket, which is now with a net. Before I used to put my wallet and my keys in there, but now I can't do that anymore because there is no layer in between the keys and the camera, and it's just a net, and I don't want them to touch inside there and rub, and I don't want my camera to get scratched or damaged by my keys. And I didn't find any other pocket which could be as useful as that. So it's a downgrade for me. Contrary to what I may have led you to believe so far, that this camera is horrible, there are thankfully also a lot of upgrades when you switch from the ONEMO to the ONEMO 2. So I'm gonna list 5 of them. The first upgrade has to do with the fact that the backpack has gotten even more comfortable to carry. The original ONEMO was very comfortable. I never actually felt like it was damaging me in some way, and I never wished for it to be more comfortable. But now that I tried the ONEMO 2, I am very surprised and very happy that it actually got more comfortable to carry. The straps got thicker and they are filled with a different kind of material which is now softer. The same goes with the back of the backpack. I remember the first time when I put it on, I feel like it was massaging my back. That's how comfortable it is. The second upgrade for me has to do with this small backpack that comes with it. Instead of having 2 compartments, now it only has one, which extends in height, and that makes it better to carry bigger things like the camera with the RF 70 to 200mm on it. And it also gives you access to everything else that you have in the backpack. And it's also more stable when you're searching for things, because now the weight is only in the bottom, and before the weight was partly in the bottom and partly in the second compartment, which was at the top and was hanging on the side. Another improvement has to do with this padded strap here that you put on your shoulder to not hurt you. Before, it used to move along the strap so that you could get it in the perfect spot on your shoulder, but that was actually a bad idea because all the time it would slide for me on the back and then I couldn't reach it anymore to bring it forward. And I find this new one, which is fixed, it is also a bit bigger, and it's part of the general upgrade with this smaller backpack. And now let's come to the third upgrade. It actually has to do with the space in the back. Now it has even more space and it can extend parallelly the back pocket to the entire bag and not only the top. But I find it's an upgrade because it's a much better use of space. So if you need to put something bigger in there, like I always did with my autumn jacket, for example, because in autumn in the morning I carry a jacket with me because it's cold, and then during the day I have to store it somewhere, and in the old backpack it could barely fit, and I would have to really push it to make it fit in that pocket. And now it has different pockets inside, it extends more, it has more space, and that's why it's an upgrade for me. The fourth upgrade is quite a subtle one, and it has to do with the fact that this backpack can actually very easily stand vertically on its own. The old one was a bit difficult. You had to spend some seconds to find the equilibrium, and it wasn't that stable even after that. I think that's because the bottom wasn't so flat and hard. Now that it's more flat and it's much easier to just put it somewhere and then it stands on its own. The fifth and final upgrade for me has to do with the battery compartment. I had an issue with the battery pockets before because they wouldn't close very tightly. Now they have added a second cover that you can close with a zipper on top of the places where you put the single batteries. So now you can be sure that the batteries for the camera are separated and don't get mixed with everything else that is in the bag. So overall, I think the ONEMO 2 is actually an upgrade from the original ONEMO. It's just that I don't think it's an upgrade in every way, and there are some things that I will definitely miss from the original ONEMO, like the pockets in the back for the straps. I don't think it's actually worth an upgrade if you already own the original ONEMO to move to the ONEMO 2. I just had to do it because mine broke. Alright guys, that was it with this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss videos like this in the future. Goodbye.